do you think Biden will stay in the race?
Look, I watch him just like you do. And I think it's almost inappropriate for me to say it. I don't see how it's possible. But there's something wrong. I saw his answer today on television about whether or not he was going to run to a very nice guy named Al Roker. I mean, you can't get a softer question than that. That was a long answer, talking about the eggs and the this and that. Look, I don't think he can.
Some brutal honesty there from Donald Trump. This was the first interview Trump has done since he was arraigned in a Manhattan courthouse last week. The former president joined Fox News' Tucker Carlson, where he was asked the heated question: will Joe Biden be able to stay in the race for the presidency? The 45th president said he doesn't see how it's possible for him to seek re-election, claiming there's something wrong with Joe Biden. Trump's answer was in reference to the fact that Joe Biden over the weekend told NBC News that he did plan to run for the presidential election in 2024, but wasn't ready to announce it.
I was wondering, Mr. President, will you be taking part in the Easter egg rolls after 2024?
I plan on at least 3 or 4 more Easter egg rolls.
At least 3 or 4 more?
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5?
Maybe 6.
So
What the hell?
are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either roll an egg or being the guy who pushed them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me here.
I plan on running out, but we're not prepared to announce it yet.
So there you have it. Joe Biden and Donald Trump could be facing off in a repeat showdown in 2024. Trump already announced his run for a 3rd consecutive campaign in November, and Biden seems to be adamant that he is running, even if he hasn't formally announced it yet. But they both certainly have their hurdles in their way. Joe Biden's low polling, age and cognitive abilities being one for him, and Donald Trump facing a hearing and then trial for the hush money payments he made in the lead up to the 2016 presidential election. Last week, Donald Trump flew from Florida to New York to surrender himself after he was indicted on charges by District Attorney Alvin Bragg. It was revealed the former president had been charged with 34 counts relating to falsifying business records in the 1st degree. These are Class E felonies in the state of New York, which is the lowest classification in the state. This made Donald Trump the first former or sitting president to ever be charged with criminal activity.
Less than 2 weeks before the presidential election, Michael Cohen wired $130,000 to Stormy Daniels' lawyer. That payment was to hide damaging information from the voting public. The participant scheme was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap. And the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law.
Alvin Bragg said that Donald Trump is being accused of repeatedly making false statements on New York business records and caused other people to do so too. He claims that during a presidential election campaign, the former president falsified business records with the intent to defraud in an attempt to conceal another crime. When Trump faced arraignment last week, journalists and photographers were permitted to wait outside the courtroom while the actual formal proceedings took place. Trump then flew straight back to Mar-a-Lago, where he gave a speech at his own home. He gave Tucker Carlson insight into what happened in those 57 minutes in the courtroom where the outside world weren't allowed in, claiming people who worked there were crying watching him face the charges.
They were incredible. When I went to the courthouse, which is also a prison in a sense, they signed me in. And I'll tell you, people were crying. People that work there, professionally work there, that have no problems putting in murderers, and they see everybody. It's tough place. And they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry. They'd say, 2024, sir, 2024. And tears are pouring down their eyes. I've never seen anything like those people are phenomenal. Those are your police.
Yep.
Those are the people that work at the courthouse. They're unbelievable people.